Welcome to part 2 of my Ultraman 1966 Retrospective review. Last time we talked about the plot, stories, and characters. Today we're going to be talking about the Kaijus, Aliens, music, and special effects of the show. Kaijus and Aliens. Now from here on out, I'm going to be referring to monsters as Kaijus, not monsters. Anyways, being the first Kaijus and Aliens to ever fight against an Ultraman, of course most of them were very memorable, striking the right amount of fear and threat to them. And while most of them are very ferocious, there are a few Kaijus that are very sympathetic. We already talked about Jamila, Hydra, and Cibozo and how much they weren't really much of a threat. So let's talk about a few other Kaijus. Pigmon, a human-sized kaiju who is very friendly towards humans and wants to help them. Unfortunately, he tragically died. Twice. Gavadon, a harmless kaiju created by children and a strange alien race, yes, that actually happened, I'm being dead serious, was unfortunately attacked for no good reason. Wu, a kaiju who wanted to protect an orphan girl. Alien Baltan, an alien species who wanted to live on Earth, but was unfortunately denied due to the Earth already being so overpopulated. Alien Mephilus, an alien who never wished to destroy the Earth, but rather wanted to trade a new planet for it. Mummy, yes that's actually its real name, wants a dead body resurrected just for the sake of scientific studies. And Gomora, a kaiju who was captured and transported away from his home to be an attraction at a world's fair. The Ultraman franchise truly did know how to create such great kaijus and aliens. Here, take a look at a few kaijus and aliens that I found memorable. Bemular, Alien Baltan, Naranga, Ragon, Gesura, Antlar, Red King, Pigmon, Jiras, Bolton, Alien Zarab, Telesodon, Jamila, Gabilla, Gomora, Alien Dada, Alien Mephilus, Skydon, Zoragus, Geronimon, and Zeton. Ultraman is also known to be the most expensive show during its time, and unfortunately with such an expensive show, some of the kaiju suits had to be reused and modified for new kaijus. Heck, some kaijus even returned in the later episodes of the series. A YouTuber called Miguel made a video over this topic, and honestly I don't think I could describe the situation better than he can in his video. So there's a link to his video and his channel in the description. As for me, while I do feel a bit underwhelmed that some kaiju suits aren't original, I still understand why they had to do it. And even though I already talked about him, I still have more to say about Ultraman, specifically his design. But just like the topic of reused kaiju suits, I don't think I can explain his design as well as Miguel, who does a great job on explaining the design, which there is a link to his video in the description. But as for me, I love his design. It's simple, clean, recognizable, and overall a great design for the first ever Ultraman. And of course we gotta talk about the fight scenes, which are a staple of the Ultraman franchise. Not only just Ultraman fighting kaijus, but also kaijus fighting other kaijus, which is pretty great. Although, I will have to say that there are a few times when the fight scenes can be a little underwhelming, especially the first few fights of the series, and it's pretty disappointing that not all of the kaijus fight against Ultraman. Then again, it could just be a way to show humanity doesn't need Ultraman to protect the Earth all the time. But still, the fact that Ultraman doesn't fight all the kaijus in his series is still disappointing. Heck, one Ultraman fight wasn't even really much of a fight. It was just Ultraman destroying a monster with one attack and then dissolving the fire with his out-of-nowhere water powers. Which makes you think, why doesn't Ultraman just let the Science Patrol finish off the monsters themselves? But still, the fight scenes are great most of the time, and the series would definitely not be popular without them. The music. The music of this show is great, albeit a little cheesy and honestly kind of forgettable, but still, there are a few memorable tracks to me of the original series. And while I would love to show you some of it, I can't due to stupid copyrighted claims. So, I have no choice but to put a playlist of the soundtrack in the description. I hope you guys understand that I didn't want to do this, but I had no choice due to stupid copyrights. The special effects. Well, what can I say? It's Eiji Tsuburaya and the franchise as a whole. Of course the special effects were going to be amazing. Even though the series came out in 1966, most of the special effects still look amazing to this day. Of course there are a few problems, like the wires and the plane scenes having to be easily seen. In some shots, the kaijus can be seen as men in rubber suits. The rips and tears of those suits can be seen on screen. Some instances where the lighting for the Ultraman suit was off, and being the most expensive show, a lot of the sound effects are just sound effects from Toho films. The best example being the phone of the Science Patrol having the King Ghidorah roar whenever it rings, and whenever a kaiju roars, it's usually a modified roar of other kaijus. So while the special effects aren't perfect, and some of it is outdated, it's still pretty impressive on how realistic the modeled environments can be. This is where Tsuburaya truly shined. Everything from the rural areas to the urban areas, it just looks so realistic. So outdated in some aspects, yeah, but impressive due to it being in 1966, heck yeah! So, after watching the entire series of the original 1966 Ultraman, what did I think about it? Well, even with its obvious flaws like bland characters, few outdated special effects, and some very bland stories, I'd still say that this series is the best way to start the Ultraman franchise. Now, I know that Ultra Q is technically the first series, but I still consider Ultraman 1966 as the first real series. And hey, being Eiji Tsuburaya's first show about a sci-fi superhero, he did a pretty good job. Now, I'm not going to go over the individual episodes one by one, to say the least, but I can give you a link to a playlist of another YouTuber's reviews of the individual episodes of the 1966 Ultraman series, that being Goji73 and his Color Time reviews. He does a really good job on reviewing the original series episodes one by one, so there's a link to his channel and his playlist in the description. But as for me, I'm gonna end off this pseudo-retrospective review with an 8 out of 10 score for this series. If you're looking for a cheesy, old live-action superhero show, then look no further than the 1966 Ultraman, a cheesy yet enjoyable series. Thank you guys so much for watching this retrospective review of the Ultraman 1966 series. Please leave a like, comment down below if you want to see any more reviews like this or any other Ultraman content from me. I would like to do some more, and subscribe to the channel for more of this content. And as always, I'll see you guys in another random time. See ya!
You're a fucking asshole.